What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Civilization 5 57 Civs AI only world battle. Hope you're enjoying the action so far. We've got a very packed map. I think it's the first time that all of the continents are pretty much filled. Well, just around turn 100. We're just past that now. And how did this happen? Germany, with 2 units or 3 units, just managed to conquer a city off Denmark. That's pretty impressive, considering Denmark has so many boats and they're just not good enough. But there you go, that sucks for Denmark. I mean, it's not the end of the world, but it certainly isn't great. And Mongolia does grab a city off the Khazar. What the heck is going on here? Okay, so Mongolia grabbed this city. This one's about to fall. I have no idea when or how Korea got their hands on this, but that is something else, I guess. I missed that, but they must have snuck in. Probably conquered it, because there's units here. It must have been low, and then they just snuck in, because this was the Khazars as well. Well, that's going to just increase the awkwardness between Korea and Mongolia. Great. And here you have, yeah, the Khazar should be gone. Parthia haven't been yet, so unless the Khazar can kill. I mean, I guess they could kill this knight, but it depends who goes first. Byzantium piecing out with the Huns. Is that a city changing? Oh, Byzantium. Oh, what have you done? What have you done? I'm sorry, guys. Oh no, what have we witnessed? That is outrageously bad. That's nearly as bad as Siam getting control of this, if not worse actually, because Babylon is stronger than Arabia. Sorry guys, it happens. Even the deity AI just can't do it. They just can't stop themselves. Right, it is the Khazars' turn. So if they are smart enough to kill this knight, they will survive. They were not, so they are probably going to die. I would assume. I don't know if Parthia have been. But there's a good chance they haven't. 2 Sicilies taking forever. They do have plenty of units, so that does make some sense, I guess. Oh, they're attacking Austria. What? I swear it just said they peaced out. I must have misread that. They must have declared war at the end of last episode, not peaced out. I mean, if they could grab this, that'd be great. Japan just entered the industrial era, which is quite impressive, and Parthia has eliminated the Khazar within 3 cities falling, probably within 1 or 2 turns. I don't know when that Korean one happened, but there you go. It happened very quickly. Yeah, there you go. Just like that, the Khazar are out. Parthia, Korea, and Mongolia all get a little bit stronger. Egypt and Benin versus Burundi. That's quite interesting. Egypt can't really get to Burundi. And Benin, I guess, could. But they're also fighting the Garamantes at the moment, so they're probably not going to... It's not going to be a matter of urgency. And I don't know if Burundi are really that bothered about defending that northern city. They're just leaving it here, sort of hoping no one goes after it and they'll be fine. Denmark retakes their city to the north of Berlin. Mongolia is now going after Siam. They do have a tiny border, but Siam should be fine here. And Korea. So Mongolia and Korea, they've decided at the moment they're not going to fight each other. They're going to work together to just destroy everyone else first. Maybe that, it's kind of, we'll kill everyone else, and then at the end, may the best man win. Kind of like how the Hunger Games would probably end up if, they didn't try to eat the berries. If one of them had to die, then there you go. That would be... They're just going to kill everyone else first. Marley piecing out with Carthage. And Morocco and Spain. I have to check every little peace deal now just to make sure no random city has been passed the wrong way. And the Zulu are dead as well. Another city. We are dropping civs quickly. I think we're now down to the 43, which is incredible how quickly they're dropping. Just saw the normal level, but there you go. The Congo conquering Madagascar pretty easily. These 3 are all looking pretty good. I mean, Burundi certainly are probably the weakest, but they have kind of nature on their side in terms of a sort of protection. So yeah, South Africa, Burundi, Congo, all plenty of cities, plenty of space. Congo with a huge capital. Burundi not looking too bad either, so there is plenty of chances here. And if Burundi grab this, that'll be another civ eliminated in very quick succession. Lots of civs falling. North America is probably the most peaceful place in the world at the moment. The Chinook fighting a few things. The Shoshone defending themselves, doing a fine job of doing that. And South America is even more peaceful. These guys aren't even There's some units taking damage. I think that might be the Corral and Brazil, but even they're not really going at it. I don't know if that is. I don't know who they're fighting, to be honest, but there you go. And Denmark has ended it with Germany. So there you go, that war is over. Not too bad. Germany actually managed to somehow sneak their borders through here and grab quite a bit of northern Italy. So that would, if they ever wanted to attack Sicily, that would give them a chance. Now, military-wise, who's doing good? Brazil still leading for population. The Iroquois still leading the other categories, at least for now. Soldiers, though, is led by Korea and science. So that's a big one to note. So Korea, probably better future prospects in that regard. They've got better technology and more units. That's all you need to fight wars in this game. Iroquois, though, can certainly produce more, but at the moment, more is not the answer, because these lakes are going to cause them an awful lot of issues against the Shoshone and the Sioux. And for now, at least, Texas seems to be stacking up on units, and if they keep up with this, they should be able to protect themselves too. So yeah, the Iroquois need to figure something out. They are stalling. I don't want to say they're just, there's hope for the other Civs, because they could turn it around very quickly. We'll probably end up seeing like the Sioux, the Shoshone and Texas turn on the Sioux or something, and then the Iroquois will profit on all three of them or something. But yeah, I won't get my hopes up and say that Iroquois are done for, but there's certainly a chance, at least for other Civs to catch up. I wouldn't say that the other North Americans have much hope against them, but there might be some other Civs that rise to their level. Belgium versus France, a big war. It was coming. I don't know what way this is going to go. It is incredibly confusing. Without info addicts, it can be difficult as well. Just have no idea. Just sort of doing it by eye. I feel like Belgium has the overall advantage. They have more cities, and the longer, and they have the Great Wall, of course, which is great for them at the moment. They have their unique unit here, the Chasseurs. So yeah, I feel like Belgium can do well here. If they get through this, it should be okay. But yeah, I don't know. France has plenty of units too. Belgium's a bit more spread out, but they have more cities, more sort of production power. I think Belgium win eventually, but I don't think it's going to be particularly quick. It's not going to be just a very one-sided war. Parthia versus Austria, that makes no sense at all. But that's why we're here. None of this really makes sense. Is Mongolia going after Parthia at the same time? That is pretty brutal if you are. Just continuing. Oh, Byzantium. This is horrific. The border gore. The Goths just completely cutting the Huns off from that. I haven't really paid much attention to Attila. I assume he is attacking Parthia from the look of this as well. Not had much success yet, and Parthia sort of just kept their trebuchets safe distance in the mountains, so that's a good move. We'll see how that goes for them. But yeah, the Huns were doing really well. They've completely surrounded Russia. But not too much success. And it looks like Austria is the next Civ to be the victim of a bit of a coalition. The Sicilies are very close to conquering Graz. Russia has now joined. Songhai, Mongolia, Parthia. But yeah, those guys don't matter. It is mainly the Sicilies. Germany could maybe have a say in this, but they're not quite ready at the moment. Korea versus the Goths definitely doesn't matter. Byzantium v the Goths, a little more important, but not really. Byzantium, I have no more respect for you. You gave this away. You have no hope against the Goths. I don't know why you've bothered. These units, you'd give them a chance based on these units, but they can't squeeze all into this little gap and do anything. And 2 city bombardments, yeah, there's no way they get anything done. Byzantium's game ended the second they made that stupid peace deal to a Civ that could not touch them and hadn't touched them yet. It's just ridiculous. Hopefully they'll get it back one day, but I won't be counting on it or betting my house on it, that's for sure. Benin, the next Civ to attack Austria. Not sure Benin about that one. Not having much going on against Burundi just yet. Looks like Egypt's sort of slowly coming down to fight that war. But Benin should certainly be eliminating the Garamantes next turn. Or the Songhai. It depends. Actually, the Songhai might have a chance of stealing it away just because they go first. Either way, the Garamantes should be the next Civ eliminated. No one else has arrived in the Caribbean just yet. Just the Sioux. Oh, Belgium. I had hope for you. Okay, no, that's not too bad. I still have hope for them against France, but yeah, I was going to say that's not a good move. But Austria and the Goths will not come over here, so that's okay. As long as Belgium avoid England or the Celts, that could just be sort of awkward. They might go and steal Norway off you with their boats and stuff. avoid Denmark probably as well, and Germany, just because you would actually have to fight them. But yeah, Austria and the Goths, that's okay. I'll let them off. It's not too bad. Sicily's would be another nightmare for Belgium, and Spain would definitely be an issue. Sort of a bit of a dark horse, been a bit ignored so far, Spain, by me at least. Certainly got enough here if Belgium get weak to make something happen. How's Oceania looking? A bit neglected this episode. Rifleman now for Samoa, so it's still up there. There's lots of Civs leading the way tech-wise for different technologies. Indonesia here as well. Pretty big cities doing their stuff. They're trading across the ocean. They don't seem to be exploring it just yet. And Samoa, oh yeah, they have a city in Madagascar, okay. Australia did manage to hold on to their territory for now. 4 cities for them still. The Samoan threat will continue. I can't believe they have less population than Brazil. That just shows you the bigger numbers are worth more. Because yeah, there's 27, 20, 20, which is pretty similar to Samoa's 20, 21, 21. So that isn't as good as 27. It's pretty similar to, this is less than Brazil, but then 14. Overall, there's more Samoan. But yeah, the bigger numbers, you know, the difference between 26 and 27 must be a lot bigger. What's that add up to? This is a good time. 67 in total, which means I miscounted before when I said 70. 67. And then Samoa is at 62. 70. No, wait, 62. Yes, 72. 76 versus. So they've got 9 more. But yeah, the higher numbers must be worth more. Brazil actually just increased it even further. And there we go. Benin eliminates the Garamanti. So they're looking pretty solid here in Northern Africa. Growing power. Marley V Morocco again. I feel like one of these 3 West African nations needs to have something go right soon. Or they could get left behind, because there are some big Civs emerging in Sub-Saharan Africa and Benin as well now. Burundi, Congo, South Africa. Ethiopia isn't doing too badly. Egypt looks quite big. They're not actually that big, but good population, I guess. How are you messing this up? Are these not... Oh no, these are frigates, so they can't conquer the city. So they will need to send a melee unit. They've not really... They do have a pikeman here, but Spain is now in the way. Be very annoying for the Sicilies. Chinook. And they've completely failed against California and are now just sort of holding off Japan as well. Japan, California, lots of Civs starting to have frigates all of a sudden. Korea with a ton of turtle ships. Of course, they will take longer to upgrade those just because all the AIs tend to stick with their unique units for a little bit longer than they probably should. And yeah, Siam has actually defended themselves just fine so far. And is Indonesia fighting Japan? I have no idea, but it doesn't look like it because it looks like they're trading with each other. So maybe Indonesia is fighting Siam too, but it's not going particularly well. Australia, there are some crazy trade routes going on. Not so much trade across the Indian Ocean just yet. A little bit from Indonesia and Japan, but not much. The Pacific, though, there is certainly some cross-Pacific trading. Samoa, Australia, Indonesia. Doesn't look like the Americans are going back, but there is certainly trade routes going to their cities. Chinook have a cargo ship there. Maybe it will go somewhere interesting. Not sure what trade's looking like in the Atlantic. Pretty bare. And then France does grab Iceland. Not much here. The Celts going to Iceland. Texas and Britain are sort of the first to meet each other of the Europeans as Britain gets caravels and starts to explore. You got Belgium's down here as well. Having a little look around. Expeditionary unit. Brazil and the Corral certainly exploring the southern part of the Atlantic. South Africa down here as well with caravels, as well as the 2 Sicilies scout about to find the Americas, and the Inca look like they might be about to settle the Falkland Islands. Pretty big. Will that upset the balance of peace that we've sort of had in South America potentially? Brazil with Gatling guns. That's another Civ that has sort of a unit we haven't seen anyone else with. But apparently Korea's leading for tech, so I'll take the game's word for it. Oh, they have a Gatling gun too. Never mind. How are we looking? Is this still the same? Yeah, it still stayed the same. We're in last, so it's not even that useful. But we can compare to the average. Brazil with 4 times the average population. The Iroquois 2.7 times the average crop yield, and what's that, 2.5 times the production of the average. Much more gold, sort of 3 times. Land, sort of 2.5 times. Soldiers, Korea is about double the average, and then literacy, Korea about 14%, which is more concerning. Is not that Korea are 14% ahead of average. If 40% is the average, that means there's civs sort of back with 14% less than 40%. So there's probably some civs with 26% who are struggling. Texas is off the bottom though. I see that. It's us now for not discovering writing. I was trying to think something. I think if I gifted myself some stuff, I could no, it wouldn't work. It would only work for the bottom. I could probably change the literacy one, who was in last, if I gave myself all the technologies, but that would then just affect the average and who's first, so it wouldn't be that useful. Never mind. I was just thinking about ways we could get the demographics to give us a bit more information. How are you doing, Harappa and Persia? I haven't checked up on you this episode. Not too much. Persia's still stuck here. Didn't really get a chance. I mean, they could still probably settle up here. There's more than enough space on this tile or here somewhere. But never mind. Harappa not doing too great either. I don't think they're not causing each other a problem. If in my Let's Play that I'm doing right now is the 2 Sicilies, I didn't include Persia. Every other civ is there, and I mean, Harappa is doing worse than they are in this. So I mean, it didn't really make a huge difference, to be honest. Celts joined that war against Austria. Not too much they can do. If I was the Celts right now, I mean, I don't know. They're in a rough spot. They need to find someone to help them go up against Britain. I don't know if that'd be Belgium would be a good choice or somebody. But yeah, they need to be careful. What about you, Gandhi? What are you up to? I haven't really paid much attention to you. Seem to be doing okay. Siam just looks pretty strong now. I think he's going to struggle to get India back, but I'm sure one day he might go after the Harappa, be successful, grab the city. That'll be a start. Arabia, not doing too much anymore. Is there any other civs we haven't given any attention to at all this episode? Looking around the mini-map. No, I think we've covered everyone now. We've given everyone their fair share, or at least little moment in the spotlight. Britain versus France again. Britain declaring this, and that's going to... I was going to say that won't lead to much, but with Belgium fighting them at the same time, France more distracted and spread out, this might be a good time. Certainly see that city there, Lyon. It's a good chance Britain grabs that. I mean, the Celts should probably join in right now and just go for Iceland. It's not the most useful city, but it's something, and it is kind of strategic. You could block sort of Belgium off, or Denmark in the future from reaching the Atlantic. So there is some use, or you could at least charge them some money to do so. So yeah, I mean, just buy these tiles, buy those tiles, and block everyone off. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Not much faith for the Celts anymore, because Britain does look the stronger of the two in the British Isles, so one day they should probably win that battle. They have more population, more cities. Yeah, they've got, so that's equal. They have +6 there and then +5. They're 11 population better off, so they should be fine. Mali has just entered the Renaissance era, which is concerning, because we know they're civs in the industrial era. So Mali probably one of those civs who are sort of 26% or 24% on the technology. 26% maybe down the bottom end of the civs, dragging down that average. It would be quite interesting to know, but we can't get hung up on it. We're not going to know. We are reliant on those lists that show up sort of every 25 turns to enlighten us a little bit more on what's going on. They don't take too long to come up, and usually they're quite good. Maybe they should just make the lists always visible. We have our first ideology. That came out of nowhere. I guess the industrial era, fair enough, turn 109. And Korea goes with autocracy. So there we go. They are the first to have 3 factories, or 3, or have done, maybe reached the next era. Whatever the other option is, you can do it from 3 factories or something else. But there you go, Korea with autocracy. So that's a big start. Obviously, tourism is important. Again, we can see tourism. It's in here. Culture victory. Here you go. 2 tourism for Korea, but not much for anyone. It's all very spread out. 12s, 8s, 6s. So there's a very good chance autocracy is not the dominant ideology. 45 civs remaining. Now, I am one of those spectating, so there's only 44 competing. I sort of got caught between saying competing and competitive. Only 44 competing civilizations left. I'm obviously just watching. So my submarine just goes and sinks everyone's boats. That'd be quite funny. Just go around like in between the episodes, just sinking a load of cargo ships, just playing havoc on the civs. That would be funny. Good old April Fools. April Fools in the middle of July. That's when they're best played, because then they're not expecting them. April Fools, the civs would be expecting it. Nothing new. There is a lot of civs exploring the Caribbean. I expect the rest of it will be settled fairly soon. It must be tempting for some of these AIs seeing all of this. And there you go. The two Sicilies do finally cross the Adriatic Sea and conquer the city of Graz from Austria. And France now have all three of their mainland cities, ignoring Iceland, under siege, which will be concerning. Now, I don't see the two Sicilies holding on to Graz here. I think Austria has a load of land units. The Sicilies have a load of boats. It's one of those awkward scenarios. It's just sadly not going to quite work out for them. And so far so good. The Shoshone putting up that defense, and there is more units should it get worse that they can send over there, but they have been sort of settled into a corner. So they do need to be careful. But yeah, I think the Shoshone, they should be okay. Between these lakes, they could do with settling like here or here, and then another block and another bombarding unit could be really useful. Germany and Russia pieced out. I didn't even know that was going on, and not particularly important. Russia is still here, still doing their thing, but unless they get some serious help, I don't see them fighting their way out of this corner, I'm afraid. So Russia taking a game off, being a strong civ. Everyone's got to have a break sometimes. Austria has reconquered the city of Graz, so they're not going away just yet. They have a chance against Byzantium now if they're going to keep giving up silly peace deals. Yeah, that is not what France needed. Spain now joining in. This should put a lot of pressure with Spain, Belgium, and Britain chipping away at your units. I think it will start to fall apart and unwind. For France, you could definitely see one of them, Spain or Britain, grabbing Lyon. Obviously, Belgium is sort of stuck. They're trying to attack two cities at once, and you can't really stand here because you get bombarded by both, so it's very awkward for Belgium. But yeah, Spain and Britain could certainly do the damage, and then Belgium just has to be around at the right time to conquer some cities. Hopefully we don't get too much border gore. Ideally, Belgium grabs Orleans. Paris maybe goes to Britain. Obviously that's awkward. I don't know how that would happen. And Lyon to Spain. Something like that. It's already awkward with Belgium's borders, so I'm not going to expect it to get much better anytime soon. I'm actually surprised Spain didn't join on the Belgian side, and on the French side and attack Belgium. But there you go. Old rivalries just not going away. South Africa and Burundi have reached a peace agreement with no cities changing hands, which is great for Burundi. They just need to survive for a while. They're plenty big enough. Should they be able to just rebuild and get ready going forward, there's opportunities for them there. And again, they need to just defend their city. Egypt certainly gonna have a go at taking it, and Marley V Morocco is beginning. Mali could really do with conquering both these cities, Marrakesh and Casablanca, give themselves some sort of hope going forward, or they could be in a little trouble. Chinook, are they still struggling, not doing too much. Chinook has actually shrunk as a city. A few people starving. They might kill that frigate though. It's pretty useful. And there we go, California letting me down. Should have known. Why'd I pick them? Nobody settling the Hawaiian island chain. One of the biggest areas of free land left. There's little patches throughout Asia and North America and around like Mexico. But yeah, mostly it's just the Caribbean, Hawaii, and there's some islands around Indonesia that are free as well, which will be exciting to see in the following episodes who grabs hold of those. But for now, that will be it with this episode. So as always, if you have enjoyed, be sure to leave a like and a comment down below. Be Be sure to subscribe as well if you're new to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.